Judge your action by your period of inaction. And you might be saying, what does that mean? Judge your performance. Judge how well you do in the field as a player, as a coach, any position that you're in. Judge your performance by what you were doing when nothing was happening. What we're talking about is game gaps. They did a study on Major League Baseball where they took a stopwatch to a live game. And they found out that the game's only played live, where the ball's actually in play, other than the pitcher and catcher, where the position players and the hitters are actually in play, for 5 minutes or less. So I'm talking about balls hit, shortstop catches it, first baseman catches it. That's only about 5 seconds, right? Not even that. You know, the average time from home to first is you know, what is that? 3.6 and below, something like that. It's a good time. But what we're talking about is getting players to understand, getting players to judge, and you communicating this with them, getting them to understand that their performance while they're actually catching a ground ball, while they're actually swinging the bat, while they're actually running the bases, while they're actually pitching, is judged 100%, can be tracked 100%, is 100% correlated to what you do during the time you're not moving. So in between my at-bats, I have a lot of time where I'm sitting in the dugout. If I'm a fielder, I have time literally in between every single pitch. As a pitcher, you're interacting in the game a little bit more, but your downtime is still more so than your time that you're actually playing. That's the gap. That's the area where what you do determines that 5 minutes or less of how you perform. Or like I said, for a pitcher, a little bit more than 5 minutes. So this is something that Billy and I have experienced our entire lives. I've never had a coach tell me this, have you?
Hell no.
Game gaps.
Absolutely not.
But it's what you're doing when you're not doing something. And I know it sounds so elementary, but to really grasp that concept, to really understand that concept, think about whether you played, or think about yourself as a coach. When you're not doing anything, your mind wanders. Your mind goes to all of these different spots. And it's how we control our mind during those times that show us how well we're going to perform. So the first thing you can do is actually just tell your team about this, like I just told you. Make them aware that there's a lot of downtime. Oh shit, there's a lot of time where I'm not swinging a bat. There's a lot of time where I'm not running the bases, where I'm not pitching. So number one, make them aware of it. Is there anything else other than making them aware of it that sparks your interest off the top of your head, or ignites a thought?
Yeah, philosopher Sam Nott here, dude. I like that. I like that saying, though. Yeah. I like that philosophy. That is great. So your performance is based on what you're doing when you're not doing anything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. So I think it relates to life directly. You know, there's a lot of downtime in baseball. There's a lot of downtime in life, and which is totally fine. But these are the times when we really have to stay cognizant of our thoughts. So, and I mean, the downtime is when, you know, to be blunt about it, when times of mental illness come up with anxiety, depression, and anything else. So to be comfortable to talk about that, you know, is the first step with speaking to your athletes, like you said, because it's not an easy subject to talk about with anyone. What are you thinking about? You know, are you having these detrimental thoughts like I just struck out? So, you know, my head's in a shitty place. I'm telling myself I'm no good anymore. You know, and players do this. I've done this. You know, maybe I can't play at this level. Shit like that. That really does go through a player's head when they're struggling. So I think maybe letting them become aware of it. You know, we have a lot of time in between plays and a lot of time in between ABs, and then also letting them know it's okay to have these feelings, and you're going to have negative thoughts. But how do we turn them to a positive note? And I think it starts with, you know, saying I can do this, I will do this, and having a positive self-image, having self-confidence. Self-confidence is huge. You know, players, elite athletes, all have a lot of confidence. Sometimes it borders on even cocky, but at least they're confident out there. Look at Russell Westbrook, for example. Players say he's cocky, but I think he just has a lot of self-confidence. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
So having the conversation, letting them know it's okay, and then maybe giving them a tip on how to reverse it from negative to positive. You know, do you have any suggestions on how to flip the script on them?
Yeah, it's the simple way our brain processes information. It's to focus on what is actually happening and instead of what you don't want to happen. You know, it's like when you say, don't think about a purple baseball, you're gonna automatically create this image in your mind of what a purple baseball is.
I just did.
Flip the image into what they want to happen instead of what they are trying to avoid. So you're focusing on what the pleasure is and not necessarily the pain that you're trying to avoid. But the awareness is key. The awareness is key. Because in order to make a change, you have to first be aware that you actually have to make a change. And the athletes that you're dealing with, a lot of them are stuck in patterns, stuck in habits, stuck in rituals, stuck in routines that a lot of those routines don't serve them. A lot of those routines don't help them. So be aware of what's going on in the gap. Tell them about the gap. This is, you know, just a different way to frame some information that you already knew. So just bringing awareness by labeling the gap and giving a term and a definition to it, our brain starts to see it a little bit differently and actually be aware of it. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next video.